All right, future real estate superstars, listen up. If you are serious about acing your licensing exam, then this session on land use controls and zoning is absolutely mission critical. So let's get right into it.
You see this? This isn't some random textbook question. This is the phone call you're going to get on a Tuesday afternoon. Knowing the rules of the game isn't just about passing a test, it's about being that expert, that hero your clients need. So let's break down exactly how you answer this with total confidence.
Okay, so before we dive into all the terms and regulations, we have to start with the why. Why do these rules even exist? Why can't we just build whatever we want, wherever we want?
I mean, just imagine a world with zero rules. Think about it. You could have a beautiful, quiet neighborhood, and then suddenly a factory pops up right next door. Total chaos, right? It would tank property values and just ruin the quality of life. The whole point of zoning is to stop that from happening. It's a blueprint for a community that actually works.
So, to create this order, governments use a very specific set of tools. Think of this next part as the foundational rulebook. Knowing the stuff inside and out is going to be huge for your exam. Exam alert. Seriously, put a big star next to this in your notes. This is a classic exam trap. They love to see if you can tell these three apart. But it's simple. Zoning controls the use of the land, what you can do on it. Building codes control the standards, how you build it. And health ordinances protect, well, public health, things like sanitation. Just remember, use, standards, health. Don't let them trick you.
Now within those rules, land gets sliced up into 5 main categories that you absolutely have to know. You've got residential, where we live, commercial, where we shop, industrial, where things get made, agricultural, for farming, and then there's special use. That's for community pillars like schools, parks, and hospitals. And another massive exam alert, especially for all my folks taking the Florida exam, this concept is practically a guaranteed question. Concurrency is pretty simple. It means a developer can't just throw up a 500-home subdivision without the infrastructure to support it. The roads, the sewers, the schools, they have to be there concurrently, at the same time as the new development. It's how Florida tries to manage all its growth.
Okay, let's switch gears and hit a rapid-fire round. This is the terminology vault. Mastering this vocabulary isn't just about the exam, it's about sounding like the pro you're about to become.
First up, non-conforming use. You probably know this better as being grandfathered in. So, picture a little mechanic shop that's been on a corner for 50 years. Then, the city comes in and rezones that whole area to be purely residential. Does the shop have to pack up and leave? Nope. It gets to stay because it was legal when it started. It's kind of like having a VCR in the age of streaming. It was fine back in the day, so it gets to stick around. Now, PUDs are the modern way of doing things. Instead of that rigid separation, houses over here, stores over there, a PUD allows for a whole master-planned live, work, play community. Think condos sitting on top of coffee shops, with parks and bike paths all woven together. It's way more flexible, and you are going to see this approach everywhere.
Okay, what's a variance? A variance is basically you asking the government, hey, can you please bend the rules for me? But you gotta have a really good reason. And the key word to remember is hardship. For example, let's say your lot is shaped like a pizza slice, and the normal setback rule makes it literally impossible to build a decent-sized house. You could apply for a variance because the rule itself is causing you an unfair problem.
Now, don't mix this up with a variance. A special exception isn't about bending the rules. It's about asking for a special key that the rules already created for certain cases. So a zoning code might say something like, a school or a church is allowed in this residential zone if they get a special exception. The possibility is already baked right into the code. You just have to prove you meet the conditions. All right, team, listen up, because this next part is where people really get tripped up on the exam. We're going to walk right through the most common traps and calculations so you can just breeze right past them on test day. Exam alert! This is the big one. I guarantee they will try to confuse you on this. Remember it this way. A variance is for a private hardship. A special exception is because the use is in the public interest. Hardship versus public interest. So a variance fixes an unfair problem, while a special exception allows something good for the community that was already planned for. Okay, I see you. Don't let the numbers scare you. The real estate exam will absolutely have a math problem just like this one. A lot of people lose points here, but we're going to make this an easy win for you with a simple formula you can use every time.
This is it, right here. Write this down. It's 3 simple steps every single time. First, you get the total square footage. Second, you subtract the land you can't build on. And third, you divide what's left by the size of one lot. Let's do it together.
Step 1, we take our 20 acres and multiply by that magic number you must memorize. 43,560, that's how many square feet are in an acre. That gives us a grand total of 871,200 square feet. Easy enough, right?
Step 2, the problem says 25% is for roads and stuff, which means we get to build on the other 75%. So we multiply our big number by 0.75, and that gives us our usable land area, 65,300 square feet.
And for the final step, step 3, we take that developable area and we divide it by the 9,000 square feet needed for each lot. And what does that give us? Boom! Our final answer, 72 lots. See? Follow the steps and it's foolproof. Okay, one last super important exam alert. This is CERCLA. You might also hear it called the Superfund Law. The number one thing to remember here is that the liability for cleaning up a contaminated site, it can fall on both the current owners and, here's the key, past owners. That is a huge potential liability, and you have to know that it can reach back in time.
Okay, time to lock this in. 60-second recap. Let's go. Number 1, zoning is all about the use of the land. Building codes are all about the standards of construction. Know that difference. Number 2, and you will see this again, a variance is for a unique hardship. A special exception serves the public interest. Do not get those two mixed up. And number 3, especially from my Florida crew, concurrency is king. The infrastructure, roads, schools, sewers, it must be in place before new development gets the go-ahead.
So, we end with this question. You are now armed with the fundamentals. The next time a client asks you, hey, what can I do with this property? You know exactly where to start looking. The local zoning ordinance. You've got this. Now go ace that exam.